So last week, Donald Trump held a press conference at the White House. The media is trying to make it look like he's promoting self-ingestion of harmful products, like cleaning products, bleach, things like that. And they're trying to make him look stupid, saying that he's promoting standing in the sunlight can cure corona, and things like that. There are a lot of concerns that people are going to start taking these chemicals thinking that it's going to save them and it will cure them of corona and any sicknesses and viruses and all that stuff. There are some hospitals in America who have been getting calls questioning whether these products are safe to eat and put into your body when it's obviously not safe. It's obviously not safe. When in reality, Donald Trump never said to ingest or inject yourself with any of these products. He never suggests that people do that to themselves. He says, is there a way we can do something like that? Asking the doctors if it's possible to produce a way to do that. But he's not saying right now you need to inject yourself with bleach, promoting that type of behavior.
So supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting.
Get the right folks who could.
Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. So we'll see. But the whole concept of the light, the way it kills it in 1 minute, that's pretty powerful. I would like you to speak to the medical doctors to see if there's any way that you can apply light and heat to cure. You know, if you could. And maybe you can, maybe you can't. Again, I say maybe you can, maybe you can't. I'm not a doctor.
He then goes on to say we're going to have to use medical doctors. That is not promoting the self-injection and ingestion of these products. He's doing the opposite. Once they produce the vaccine, you need to go to the doctor to go get that done for you. You can't do it for yourself. He never told anyone to do it for themselves. Donald Trump was not promoting doing these things by yourself, for yourself. He was just asking the doctors some questions and just kind of like speaking his mind, like thinking out loud. But people have their own common sense. Common sense. It's common sense to not drink bleach and like cleaner and Lysol and like Pine Sol. Like, it's just common sense. It's not for human beings to have inside their bodies. They're literal cleaning supplies. Like, Donald Trump is not like Jesus Christ or anything. He's a man. He's just a man. And he didn't even say those things. But even if he did say those things, what is going on in your head that you would listen to that advice when clearly you know, if you use your mind properly, that these things are not for eating? The media is fabricating that Donald Trump is promoting the ingestion of these products, the eatings of them, when in fact he never even made that claim. Last month, an elderly couple ingested fish cleaner thinking it contained hydrochloroquine, one of the chemicals that Donald Trump was saying that could possibly help cure coronavirus. And this couple took it way too seriously and they ingested fish cleaner and the husband had passed away. It didn't even contain hydrochloroquine. It contained hydrochloroquine sulfate. Even if they did use the right drug, it's just not a good idea to take these matters into your own hands when scientists and doctors are still testing out all these things. The next day after the conference, when asked about what he had said about the drugs and cleaner and UV rays, the rumors of people trying to ingest them, Donald Trump said that he was being sarcastic.
Can you clarify your comments about injections of disinfectant?
No, I was asking a question sarcastically to reporters like you, just to see what would happen. Now, disinfectant for doing this, maybe on the hands, would work. And I was asking the question of the gentleman who was there yesterday, Bill, because when they say that something will last 3 or 4 hours or 6 hours, but if the sun is out or if they use disinfectant, it goes away in less than a minute. Did you hear about this yesterday? But I was asking a very sarcastic question to the reporters in the room about disinfectant on the inside. but it does kill it, and it would kill it on the hands, and that would make things much better. That was done in the form of a sarcastic question to the reporters.
Just to clarify that, sir, are you encouraging you're not encouraging Americans to
Of course. That was interior-wise, it said sarcastically. It was put in the form of a question to a group of extraordinarily hostile people, namely the fake news media.
I don't think Donald Trump was being sarcastic. I think he was genuinely interested on the progress that the doctors were making on finding a cure for coronavirus, and he was just asking questions and speaking his mind. But when he tried to cover up the fact that he was asking questions, he just said that he was being sarcastic, falling into a trap where he looks stupid. So as a result, Donald Trump looks dishonest and like he doesn't care about the well-being of the American people.
Donald Trump escalated the situation, which would have been nothing, by feeling the need to respond to this question, making a comment about how his questions about injection and cleaning products was simply sarcastic. Now, as a result, Donald Trump looks like he doesn't care about the general public that might take what he says as fact, or that he won't care about the people affected or the lives affected by this. And ultimately, it just makes him look much worse than he would have looked if he just simply accepted the fact that he was curious about the progress of finding the cure for corona. He felt pressured and he felt the need to address this comment and save himself from looking bad. He could have just responded with the truth, or he could have not responded at all. People don't realize, as free, sovereign human beings, we are not obligated to answer every accusation, every question that comes our way. We're not obligated to do anything, really. During Jesus' 40-day fast, Satan came up to him and accused him, saying, "If you're the Son of God, turn this stone to bread." Jesus chose not to respond to this accusation because his accusations had no power. Even if Jesus could have turned the stone to bread, I'm sure none of us doubt that he could have. But if he did turn the stone to bread, he's allowing Satan's accusation to have power and have meaning, and acknowledging Satan's authority to ask him to do such an action. Satan also used the tactic for Eve, saying that she wouldn't reach godhood unless she ate the fruit. In both scenarios, there really wasn't a threat present, but Satan accused them anyways. Jesus didn't need to turn the stone to bread, and Eve didn't need to respond to Satan by eating the fruit either. The real issue came about when one of them decided to respond to Satan's accusation and turn that accusation into an actual problem, when really it didn't need to be addressed at all. The fall happened because Eve paid attention and she felt like she needed to make things right. Jesus, who was wise enough to know that Satan's accusations hold no power, went and completed his fast. Just like Eve, Trump responded to what would have been a story about nothing and successfully allowed the media to drag out this story, which inherently had no substance whatsoever. But because he responded in such a way, now they have a reason to criticize it. They made Donald Trump feel the need to dig himself out of looking stupid. They made him feel like he was in some sort of crisis that needed to be addressed. The bottom line is, if Trump either responded honestly or didn't respond at all to this question, this accusation that wasn't even true, this story would have blown over. It would have been just like any other story of them trying to accuse Trump. But because Trump wasn't wise enough to realize that he didn't need to respond, now it's an issue. People need to realize that they are sovereign. They don't need to respond to everything. Sometimes baseless accusations are just that. Baseless accusations, and should be ignored. That's all I gotta say about that. Don't drink bleach and don't inject Lysol. Eat vitamin C.